the whole placenta deterioration thing is on my brain now, and it's something that I'm pretty concerned about. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Courtney if you are new here. This is my 36-week bump date. I am 36 weeks pregnant. This is my first video recording on my new camera. So if the video image is different, that's why. We did get the wrong lens, so it's super zoomed in on my face, but I'm hoping to rectify that problem today with getting a different lens. This week has been a doozy, guys. 36 weeks. Baby's basically ready to go. She's head down. She's the size of a watermelon this week, so she feels like she's the size of a watermelon, let me tell you. This week I've had quite a lot of uncomfortable, painful symptoms in relation to the pregnancy. I'm assuming because she's getting bigger and getting ready to come out. She's basically full term. I mean, I know she's not full term. I think they consider 38 weeks full term now. It used to be 37, and I think they've recently changed it to 38. But if she was born now, she would be fine, in theory. The first painful symptom that I've had this week is round ligament pain, and it's been so bad. I've woken up with really, really painful round ligament pain. I think I spoke about it in my bump date last week, where if I didn't know what labor felt like, I would have thought that I was in labor. It was that painful, and it happened again this week. Painful round ligament pain is definitely something I'm experiencing. Lightning crutch is also another painful symptom that I'm having around the 36-week mark, so that's fun. It's so incredibly painful, and it's mixed in with just everything else down there hurting already, like my hips and just everything down there feeling pressure and hurting. So when lightning crutch hits, it's just like, it just adds extra pain. Another horrible symptom that I've had this week is reflux. I haven't had it that bad in this pregnancy. If I have had it, it's been very minimal, but oh my goodness, the reflux has been terrible the last week or so. I barely got any sleep last night because we decided to have KFC for dinner last night, and I just felt like I was going to drown in my own stomach bile. I know that sounds terrible, but it was so incredibly uncomfortable, and let me tell you, I'm going to be eating healthy for the rest of the pregnancy, which I'm basically mostly doing anyway because of the gestational diabetes diet, but we'll go into that at the end of my symptoms. Another symptom I've had this week is frequent urination, and like I said in previous bump dates, not that long ago, it's just because she's getting big. It's not because there's extra pee or anything like that. It's just sometimes I go and barely anything comes out because she's just sitting right on my bladder, and that's how it is. I'm definitely getting up to pee at least once throughout the night. Those are the most prominent symptoms that I've had this week. In relation to the gestational diabetes diet and how all that's going, my numbers have been completely fine. My glucose levels have been fine. I think I mentioned in my last bump date that the gestational diabetes educator has suggested that I up my carb intake because my numbers have actually been pretty low. So I have done that, and basically I'm just eating whatever I want at this point because my numbers are pretty low. I did read somewhere that low numbers that you're unable to get up could indicate a deteriorating placenta. Deteriorating placenta? I really struggle with that word, which is really scary to me because I don't think I've ever mentioned this, but when Talia was born, my 2.5-year-old, when she was born, there was a passing comment in the delivery room after the placenta was delivered, and they said, lucky she was born now because your placenta is not in good condition. And that it wasn't something that I really thought about at the time. I just had a baby and she was on my chest, and I had a lot going on, obviously. So it wasn't something, like, I heard it and I took it on board, but I was like, oh well, she's here now and she's safe, whatever. When I posted on the Gestational Diabetes Facebook page saying that my numbers are really low and I can't seem to get them up and I'm just eating whatever I want and, like, I'm confused basically, someone commented saying, I've heard that that can be a sign of your placenta deteriorating. And of course I was like, oh my goodness, I have to look this up. So I started doing some research online, And sure enough, I came across a couple of articles saying that that's one of the symptoms of a deteriorating placenta. Usually you don't get any at all, but because I am testing my blood sugars, most people don't do that in pregnancy unless they have gestational diabetes. I know that my numbers aren't getting up where they should be, especially for someone with gestational diabetes. So it's something that I'm definitely keeping an eye on, and it's something that I'm going to be bringing up at my next midwife appointment. I have spoken to the diabetes educator about this and brought it to her attention and asked her if, she's concerned, and she said that no, at my 34-week appointment, they did an ultrasound and the blood flow and the nutrient flow to and from the baby was completely fine on the ultrasound, so she's not concerned about the placenta deteriorating, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on and bring up at my next midwife appointment, which shouldn't be too long away. I think it's maybe next week. So that is just something that I'm keeping an eye on. I'm definitely monitoring baby girl's movements much more closely than I was before, because if anything changes at all, I'll be going straight in, because the whole placenta deterioration thing is on my brain now, and it's something that I'm pretty concerned about, given that my placenta was apparently deteriorating when Talia was born, and I didn't even have gestational diabetes with her. But with gestational diabetes, it is quite common for your placenta to deteriorate towards the end of your pregnancy. Having gestational diabetes now and knowing that, I'm definitely going to be keeping a close eye on it, given I didn't have gestational diabetes in my last pregnancy and my placenta was already deteriorating when she was born. My first daughter was born at 39 weeks after being induced, so that's where that's at. There's been no discussion about induction in this pregnancy. As far as I know, we're kind of just gonna let it go and see what happens. Because she was measuring in the 37th percentile for her size, they're not concerned about her being this giant 12-pound baby. So induction isn't something that we are discussing at this point. Although that might change in my next appointment, I don't know. Especially when I bring up my concerns about my placenta deteriorating. It could be completely fine, but it's just obviously you want to be more on the cautious side in pregnancy. So that is it for my 36-week bump date. I can't believe I only have a month left to go. I am going to go ahead and show you guys my 36-week bump. Guys, that was my 36-week bump date. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe below if you want to follow our journey, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!